Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Spears and Steinberg podcast. Right here with Spears.
How y'all feel out there?
Steinberg. What time is it? Game time. Batman. Yo. Andy, yo.
right.
You know what? Damn. You should ask me if I want some bacon and sausage to go with that egg on my face.
No, I don't think it's egg on your face. I just think I think there's still issues.
Yes. Listen, folks. I'm a little giddier than I thought I would be in regards to this. I saw Batman yesterday. Now, I'm not gonna, change my feelings about my baby Ben Affleck. Because, like Andy just said, there are some issues. But this was not fucking bad. I'm not mad at this.
It was the Batman. It wasn't the bad man.
It was the Batman. It wasn't the bad man. Okay, here we go. I'll say this. First of all, I wouldn't give it on the scale of 1 to dick hard gushing Kolsch. I won't give it the 10 that he gave it, but I'm not going to give it the bashing that Junebug Spade gave it.
But okay, just before you go any further from that, had you not had Ben Affleck,
this would have been the shit.
Okay, so that's what's important too,
right?
Because this has to be defined differently.
Yes, I looked at this movie and I went, "This was not bad. I'm not mad at this." But the way this movie was in terms of the look, the grittiness, the darkness, the action,
I'm not mad at this.
The performance. If Affleck is in this movie, it's a fucking 10 solid.
Except he's too old.
I don't buy into that.
For this, it's 2 years of the Batman. This is him at 2 years.
I get that part. I get the technicality of it.
Yeah.
But still, had it not been for Affleck, I would have looked at this. I still wouldn't have liked dude as Bruce Wayne. Because I'm telling you, that's why I call it, he looks like an exotic parakeet, nigga. I don't like his goth, sickly, I'm a runway model from France look.
And that's one of the problems that I have, his Bruce Wayne. And it's supposed to be that way because he hasn't discovered his Bruce Wayne-ness yet. And I get that. And he hasn't discovered his Batman yet. He hasn't. That's what this period, this time is supposed to be. But you got to have a little Bruce Wayne. You got everything. Well, you grew up a certain way, right?
I put in my notes, when he's in the Batman costume, he's pretty solid.
Yeah.
I'm glad they only had him as Bruce Wayne for maybe 6% of the film. I say we didn't need to see Bruce Wayne but once to say we saw him. He should have been in that suit 99% of the time. And he was for the majority of the movie, which is why, to me, it was palatable. Every time I had to see him with that hair to the side of his face, it almost looked like, remember in Spider-Man 3, when Tobey Maguire was the evil Spider-Man?
Yeah.
And he's doing that goofy dance shit, and he's got the hair to the side. It's like, dude, don't try to... This duality performance, where you're now this slick, mean guy, you still look like Toby, nigga. You still got that goofiness to your face. I'm not buying it. That's like when Steve Urkel became Stefan. Nigga, you still got Simpson eyes, nigga. I don't care how dapper you try and be. Nigga, your eyes, son. You got 2 golf balls in your face. I'm not buying it.
I understand what they were going for. That's the thing. I understood what it was before I went in. I think a lot of people just went to go see the Batman, and they're missing some of this because to go with what you're saying about not being the Bruce Wayne, the great Bruce Wayne that Affleck is. But he hasn't figured out that he can do what he wants to do yet. He doesn't have the toys. The toys are cool. The car is cool, but it isn't Bruce Wayne, Batman cool yet. he got a car that
You just made me come up with another note, but go ahead.
that he redid. You know,
Mhm.
it's not the. I don't know. It's a different vibe, and it's supposed to be that way.
Right.
But I have a huge problem coming up, and I'll wait till we get a little bit closer to where that's at. This is a different dude, and he's supposed, but you could have made him have some tendencies where you could see the Bruce Wayne that's going to come. There's nothing in there that shows me that Bruce Wayne that's going to come. I see the Batman that's going to come, so I should be able to see a little bit of the Bruce Wayne. That's missing to me.
But I don't even know. Obviously, I think they're going to make a sequel because they had an Easter egg
They're
at the end.
supposed to.
Yeah. The Easter egg at the end being Joker.
Yeah.
Because that was him in the cell talking to the Riddler. Then the laugh was a dead giveaway.
To the Joker, you mean?
To the the Joker was talking to the Riddler in the cell.
Yeah.
So yeah, if there is a sequel, which I'm assuming there will be, I'm going. What else? What else do you think he's going to do as Bruce Wayne? I think what you saw is what you're going to get.
No, because you advance, you learn how to move your money. You have to have develop an alter ego, and that's what Bruce Wayne is to Batman. That's his alter ego. Like I said, he's 2 years in. He hasn't developed that alter ego yet. One has to be a flamboyant. You know, in the Batmans that you like, Batman, his problem with his girl, Maggie Gyllenhaal at the time, is that he doesn't care about society the same way. He's the playboy. He's about these other women. He doesn't have the heart that a Batman has. That's how you keep them separate. Batman is supposed to be this person that has this sense, and Bruce Wayne is completely the opposite of that.
Well, in all the Batman movies, whether it was Kilmer, Clooney, Keaton,
but they're all defined, developed Batmans.
No. What I was going to say is Affleck. As far as Bruce Wayne's go, I thought where you were going with it was they're these dapper, billionaire entrepreneurs and stuff. Whereas with him in this, you didn't get that.
Yeah, because
but okay. So other than that, though, I'm just going. What else can he really do to it other than what we already know?
Well, yeah, that's what he will grow into, some kind of character like that. And
I'm not buying him as a dapper motherfucker.
That's the problem. They didn't leave a little bit of room for him to move into that character. He's so unsophisticated as the billionaire investor playboy at this point that you don't see that. But as with all acting and good writing, that challenge can be met.
Okay. Listen, I didn't expect to like him at all
as Batman.
As Batman. So the fact that he made me, and I told you yesterday when I sat in the theater first, the minute the movie started, I had that face. I had the lips to the side. But then, dude, by the middle, I think I'm liking this motherfucker. Batman.
Yeah.
I mean, look. When people said one thing I got to disagree with completely, and I think Junebug said it. The action is terrible, or he said there's lack of action. Son, no, June, no.
I thought there was plenty of action.
There was plenty of action.
It's a 3-hour long movie,
and it didn't feel like 3 hours.
So that says the action is what keeps you in it. So
I got an email I read today where somebody said it was too long. They said they thought it was great, but it was too long. It didn't feel like 3 hours, man. It felt like man food. That you ate everything on the plate.
Well, I've seen it twice now. I got to be honest. I saw it twice. I didn't have a desire to see it a second time. Right. I'm glad I did see it a second time. My son came to visit me in Hoboken, and he hadn't seen it, and I felt bad because out of all of us, my son True is the comic book one, and he hadn't seen it yet. So I said, let's go. I'll go see it again with you. Right. So we went and saw it again. My son Max came with us, and we were both glad that we saw it again because we picked up a lot of nuances that we didn't get from the first one because there is enough action that I wasn't paying attention to all the acting and the little parts of it. So, and I paid more attention to the Bruce Wayne character, him as not being Batman. And there is more, and I paid more attention to the Catwoman character. There's more in the movie. It is better than way better than I thought it was going to be. I was very careful not to give my opinion on it to you because I wanted you to see it with your own eyes and not say. That's why when someone said, "And don't let Andy gas you up," I wasn't trying to gas him up. I was trying to tell him just go in there with an open mind. That's what it was. I'm glad you went in there that way.
I'm gonna tell you something, and I'm so glad they did this. But they kind of did this before this Batman. They really did it with Affleck with Batman versus Superman. I'm so glad we've gotten away from that Tim Burton, Joel Schumacher goofiness, children version of Batman.
Campiness.
The campiness, the version for your kids. This here is adult Batman. That's why I will agree with Coach about, the grittiness of it, the darkness. It felt dirty. It felt like the Arkham video games you play for the PS PlayStations. It had that feel to it. Matter of fact, and I wish they hadn't have done this. I wish they could have found a different way to do it. But that opening scene when you first see Batman come out of that dark shadow and all those dudes are standing around, they showed that in the preview. Don't show the beginning. They should have saved that. That's his introduction.
Yeah.
And the fact that we already saw that moment, you killed the element of surprise. That immediately would have made me fall in love quicker with Robert Pattinson had they not shown that in the preview. Because the way he came out of that darkness, and then, of course, I'm vengeance, and did that whole that moment was dope. But I went, this is the preview.
Yeah, but it was I still liked it because what I got from it that I didn't get in the preview so much as how I saw it in that is like the opening, you do see the city. The city is its own, and I've heard other people say this, so I'm not trying to say that I can, but the city is its own character.
It is.
But in this one, as you said that they got it right, in Batman, what was the last Batman's? Not the Affleck ones,
Christian Bale.
Yeah, Christian Bale ones.
And let me apologize. You just, because you said that, but actually before Affleck, Christian Bale.
Yeah, that's Chicago.
That's the city, the actual city.
Yeah, it's Chicago. It doesn't, and I get it. You got the waterway, but it's light. It's bright.
I know what you're saying.
This one is dark.
Yeah, it felt like its own character.
It has the weight of it. Like they could do this in Cleveland. It has heaviness to it.
Right.
You know what I mean? It has this. But it's just that weight. And like I said, I likened it. I know it's film noir, but I likened it to like a Trent Reznor, 9 Inch Nails kind of video where it was very dark, and then there's some movements that don't really that seem out of place, that really give you that eerie, creepy feeling.
Right.
And I thought that was captured really well. And that leads into him coming out and making that first appearance. And I think that's what really, like you said.
Now, and here's where I go. And y'all might hear me say this repeatedly, and I'm sorry, but I can't help it. You take that same scene with Affleck in that gray bulky suit, and the moment he hits the first guy and says, I'm vengeance, then fights them all, I couldn't help but think of the best action Batman sequence I've ever seen. Batman versus Superman, Affleck in the warehouse fight. That warehouse fight, hands down. I've never seen another Batman ever, not Christian Bale, and certainly nothing before him, that felt gritty, real, the way it was choreographed. That was man food. Let me eat my food butt naked.
See, I never got that great feeling from him because I didn't like the Iron Man Batman suit. It was Iron Man.
What do you mean, Iron Man Batman?
Because Batman's wearing that suit with the like the metal suit with all the things built into it.
What are you talking about?
Batman, Superman.
Yeah, he didn't built into the suit.
Yeah, dude, it doesn't have the same Batman suit.
But where's the comparison
because
to Iron
the
Man?
Boots, the whole
No,
thing.
what are you talking about?
Yeah.
If you were to say Spider-Man, the metal suit that he wore, that was specifically not even that one. The upgrade, when Tony gave Peter Parker the upgrade suit, it was the Iron Man suit because it had the voice.
Yeah.
He could talk to it. Batman didn't have that.
But he had that armor kind of suit that he's wearing.
His suits have always been armor.
Not like
bulletproof.
that. Not like that. And not like that.
You are completely wrong. Completely wrong.
I didn't enjoy the suit. I didn't enjoy it in Batman.
I loved it because it was a breakaway from what we've been seeing. Christian Bale, Kilmer, Clooney, Keaton, they all had a jet black suit. This shit was gray with darker gray in terms of the sick bat signal, shorter horns, bulkier. We'd never seen that.
Yeah, you see it in an Iron Man suit.
where are you making a comparison to Iron Man?
Because it just has
the Iron Man suit had gadgets, it like missiles and shit. He could shoot shit.
I understand
that.
He
had a computer voice that he talked to, Jarvis.
I'm not saying that workability of it, the look of it had an Iron Man kind of look.
You couldn't be more wrong.
That's how I felt about it.
That being said, I was just making the point that once he started to fight those guys, in my mind, I'm going, Affleck. So there were just moments where I was going, this is cool, but Affleck.
Yeah.
Affleck's my dude, man.
But I thought that was a good fight scene. It was a good fight scene. He did his character correctly.
Once I could get past, all right, it ain't Affleck, I went, yeah, not bad. Not bad.
And I like that. I read this that was Patterson's take on it was when he first walks in, he's supposed to go, "Who are you?" And they go, "I'm Vengeance." And he didn't like that. He thought he had to do the fight scene first, and then when he's done, then he goes, "I'm Vengeance." And
I agree with him.
Yeah, and it worked out. It made it stronger.
So let's do this real quick because this changed my shit. In my mind before this movie, in terms of the Batmans, Pattinson was going to be last from favorite to least. Here's my order. Affleck, Bale, Pattinson, Keaton, Clooney, Kilmer. I still think Val is the worst ever. I thought Pattinson was going to take his place, but he's third to me.
I'll go the opposite way from bottom to top. I go
from worst to best.
Yeah, I go. What was it? Now
Clooney?
Clooney, my worst. I hated that.
Did you hate him or the movie? It was a bad movie. He was a good Batman.
He was a good Bruce Wayne in a cocky Bruce Wayne kind of way. Terrible. It was terrible. And then Kilmer is my next one. And then
Keaton.
No, man, you're gonna not like me for this. Then Bale.
Really?
Yeah, I like Keaton.
You put Pattinson over Bale?
It's probably right there to me. The same.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, but it's also I like this story, so it changes for me because I like this story. Damn. If I go by story with the stories that we know, then it has to be Patterson and Bale. But just me liking the story and what was presented, I would go Bale, Patterson, and then I'd go Keaton, and then Affleck.
You got Keaton as two, really? You really?
That's my dude who I grew up with. That's my home team. That's my home team. I'm rooting for that.
Right.
And you know what? And you know what's really interesting though to me too? When they pick a character, every single one that they've ever picked to be horrible has done well. Keaton, what's this guy, this comedic actor? He was a good Batman.
Right.
When it was Heath Ledger being the Joker, who was this pretty guy that's going to be...
Oh, did your balls drop off?
Home run.
Right.
This dude, he's done a good job, even though everybody predicted it to be horrible.
Right.
I see like every time everyone wants to say what's terrible, and then going for me outside of that when I go to Jared Leto, I think everybody said it's going to be this horrible Joker, and I actually like the Joker. I know that a lot of people disagree with me. I think it's a great Joker because he went in a completely different direction because he couldn't top Heath Ledger's Joker. So you've got to do something different. You got to take that risk, or you just risk someone saying, "Yeah, but it was okay," but he was just doing an impression of Ledger.
Right.
So,
it's almost like how I could go. I can't stand Kilmer. I didn't want to like Pattinson, but I like him. You and I differ on Clooney, Batman, whatever. We got our likes. No one ever. Well, you just said it, but I don't dislike any of the Jokers. Nicholson, Leto, Joaquin, Ledger. Now, yes, like the rest of them, I got my favorite the least, but I don't think anybody did a bad job as Joker.
I never liked, and again, blasphemous when we just say
Nicholson.
I never liked Nicholson's portrayal, and I think he's kind of a victim of the technology at the time. Right. I don't like his hard face that doesn't really can't move. his interpretation where he was trying to be a little darker, but still kept that
Jack Nicholson-ness.
Yeah, but then still had to try to have a playful. But that's also because he was a victim of that campy kind of Batman interpretation.
And in terms of what it was at that time, and you say campy, he fit the bill.
He fit what he did fit it. I just didn't like it. Cesar Romero, I like better in the original Batman than I do like Nicholson's.
Right.
And when we said all these Batmans, we never included what's his face from that same time period from the Batman
Adam
TV
West.
Adam West. Adam West was a decent Batman, and
I just do that because it's TV.
I understand that, but he still developed a character. His character is what most of the first Batman characters are based on.
All right, so boom for me: Affleck, Bale, Pattinson. Who did I say next? Clooney, Adam West, Kilmer.
I don't know where I put Adam West in there, only because of this. And this is, I'm going to say, but he would, because he developed it, he has to be up there. He didn't have a suit. He's wearing fucking
tights
and some spandex.
His body was what it was. Right.
And he developed the whole idea of what it was. And I mean, obviously the comic book did, but the way that he played it, his voice, the way his mannerisms, and it's still reflected in there. There's some times in when you're watching this one where I saw some of that old Adam West suit in it. Like there's something with the eyebrows on it that he kept catching me.
They look like the eyebrows in the Adam West suit look like the eyebrows that Mexican women draw on their faces.
Yeah. Exactly. But that's so it was, I have to, you have to pull Adam West in there because he's the original, he's the originator. But I like the characters. If you're gonna go campy and make it fun, I mean, the Riddler, I like the Riddler better in that camping one than I like this Riddler.
I disagree with you.
No,
totally.
I'm not. I'm saying for the campiness, I like that.
Oh, okay.
But if you're going to go serious like this,
right.
But if I had my choice, when I take my kid,
God, we got so much to talk about.
When I put my kid glasses on, I still remember that other Joker that was very Jim Carrey-esque. Jim Carrey reprised the role of the television series.
Right.
This one here is darker.
I don't want to. It's in my notes. Oh boy.
Go ahead. I don't want to rush you through your things here.
I know what you mean when you say the campiness, and to me going, it fits the time, because if you took Jack Nicholson's Joker and put him in the Bale one, this one, even Suicide Squad, Leto, I don't see it.
Yeah, it doesn't hold up.
It doesn't hold up.
No, it has to fit those parameters.
Right. I'll tell you somebody who I think would make a good Joker if they ever decide, if they revamp it again, who I would love to see, Willem Dafoe.
Well, William Dafoe did the Green Goblin.
Yeah, but
it's a different. Yeah, it's
but
different.
He's got that face that when either mad or look, he ain't a good looking dude. So it is what it is.
He has a what would you call that look? Where you don't want to say ugly because it's
that's not politically correct.
Well, it's a unique. He has character.
He's a unique creature.
Sure. Yeah, he has character, a lot of character in his face.
Hey, Chris, did you hear? Tina has a new creature. Yeah. He's in the closet right now during the wine and cheese tasting. She's bringing him up. That's it. What do you call that? It's a Willem Dafoe. All right. Junebug said he didn't like Jeffrey Wright as the commissioner. I wasn't mad at that.
I have a huge problem with this part of the movie. I love Jeffrey Wright, and I think Jeffrey Wright played it the right way.
Right.
I really do. I just have a huge problem because if I'm to believe this movie and I'm to understand it, we don't have the development of Bruce Wayne yet. Right. This is entry level Batman. He doesn't have his supercharged toys yet. Mm-hmm. He's this Batman. Mm-hmm. How does he already have?
No, I'm just looking at.
How does he already have the Batlight? And why is there such a nice relationship between him and
Commissioner Gordon?
And he's not commissioner at this time. He's he's a detective. How does he already have this relationship? There should have been.
You're saying because it's the beginning?
It's the beginning. There should have been more tension in that relationship. To me, there shouldn't have been as much trust in that relationship yet.
Right.
We're already having the bat signal in the air. I don't think that the bat signal in the earlier version comes much later.
I love you said the bat signal.
Signal. I can't speak English. It comes up much later in this. So
Right.
that to me was if there's any sticking point in this movie for me that pulls me out of the fact that this is 2 years in, it's that light. It's the bat light.
I think you still have to give the audience some familiarity to connect. Like, how do you? I guess okay, you could have found a way or had to come up with a way to signal Batman, but that's iconic.
Well, I get that, but if Gordon is having this relationship outside of the police force with this Batman, who the idea of this Batman is more of a vigilante detective kind of, okay? If you're going to have a relationship with someone outside, his relationship wouldn't be so well known with everybody in the force, I would imagine. It would have to be a little bit more curtailed, and maybe there is some other way that they communicate besides this. I thought it was just an easy. It was too easy, and it ruined it for me. Out of the whole movie, that ruins the movie for me the most out of everything. It's just the time period doesn't match up.
But in terms of your love and appreciation for Jeffrey Wright, he did a good job.
He did a good job. I like when the whole scene where he wants to get the Batman. We didn't even say there's spoilers in this. If you haven't seen it, we gave you plenty of time.
If you don't know that this podcast is the spoiler hub, nigga, we ruin all of your parties. We come in unannounced. We piss in the punch bowl.
It's a little wang to this punch.
yeah, took a little acid he takes. You know what I'm saying? We pop your balloons and we fucking mush the cake, nigga. This is what we do.
But now I don't even remember what I was saying. What was I just saying? In the scene where Jeffrey Wright, Gordon is trying to get him out of the police station. He says, "Let me talk to him. I'll straighten him out." So he gets him in there, and then he says, and he tells him how to get out of there. And then he says, "Hit me," and Batman. And I love the scene because the scene after that, you're talking about Patterson. Patterson doesn't come across, especially when you see him as Bruce Wayne, as a tough guy, as a strong guy. But I love the part where he goes, you could have pulled your punch, and he just goes, "I did."
Right.
So that kind of gave you like this fury that he has in him when he's the Batman, right? As opposed to the other guy. So and it's hard for me to call him Bruce Wayne. That's why I just said the other guy, because that's missing. So those two things, those are my weak elements in this movie. Right. The character of Bruce Wayne not giving any insight to what Bruce Wayne will become. Just a little bit. Give me a little bit, and this relationship with Gordon and the Batlight. That to me was the part that kind of DC has problems with timelines, and that's why their movies don't sync up. That's why this Joker isn't going to sync up with the at least the storylines could sync up, even if the characters couldn't. Even we can't use Joaquin Phoenix.
But I had in my notes, in my perfect world, I wanted to see Affleck with his own Batman movie and Joaquin Phoenix, or no, because in that timeline it would have been Jared Leto as the Joker.
But they could have used
and Joaquin Phoenix would be with Pattinson.
Yeah, but see, no, I would rather be Joaquin with Bruce Wayne because the age of those characters match.
So when you say Bruce Wayne, you're talking about Pattinson.
No, because I'm talking about. No, I'm sorry, I didn't mean Bruce Wayne. I meant Affleck. Oh, okay. Because their ages match. Joker's too old when he becomes Joker to really fit into this Patterson.
See, idea. I'm not into the technicalities of age. You might not be, but I'm looking at performance.
Yeah, I get that, but you know what bothers me and why I do this is because Marvel has it right, and DC is wondering why they struggle to catch up, and I'm telling you why.
Well, we'll say this, because when I caught the movie, I was running late, so I didn't see all the previews, but I saw where DC said, yo, in 2023, we coming with a bang, nigga. Aquaman, Flash, Black Adam, the Batman. So they coming. They coming hard. They trying to give Marvel a run.
Well, hopefully they can get their timelines right. So, when the MCU did their thing, and then all of a sudden all these films came together. It wasn't all of a sudden. I mean, it was very well planned, and everything fits. The ages fit, and they're getting rid of people as they need to get rid of them so that everything still fits.
Right.
And DC is making 3 movies that don't fit together, timeline-wise. That Joker, and as much as I love the Joker movie, where do you put that? Now, you made that Joker, Joaquin Phoenix is older in that. Where do you put him now in the Joker? Because he became Joker as an older person. So now you can't even put him in.
I hear you, dude, but I don't think people will care.
I care.
Okay. Fair enough.
I care.
But I don't think people will care.
Let's put it this way. If you don't care, let me ask you this question. Why does Marvel get it right? Someone cares on Marvel's side.
See, this is where I might, where I would have to call a lifeline and call Neri, because I'm going, Marvel makes great movies, but I think your point obviously is the reason why they make great movies is because of those things.
But their attention to the detail, to putting these things in. And Marvel makes mistakes. I'm not going to say Marvel's perfect in this, but they're making all these movies. They're competing, but they haven't caught up. They just haven't caught up yet.
Give me a second to pray. Dear Lord, for Christmas, can you please give me Affleck back for Justice League 2? That feels like unfinished business. Directed by Zack Snyder. And can you also, Lord, give us another Superman movie with Henry Cavill? Like, all of this is on the table to be had. Lord, can you please give me a Batman movie with Affleck and Jared Leto? Or Affleck and Joaquin? Oh my God. All right, questions real quick. And you probably won't remember them all because I only remember a few. If you can remember, what's been the best Bat Cars? Was it this one? Was it the one with Keaton with the flame coming out? Was it the one with Bale that looked like a tank? And I don't really remember past that because I remember the one Kilmer had was just so gay and goofy with all the lights. It was like a big black dildo with lights.
All right. For me, and it goes back to, dude, it has to be the iconic one.
With Keaton.
No, before that.
That's nostalgical.
That's nostalgical. But
that's some shit you buy for yourself if you got billions of dollars.
And it is cool with the fins and the way that he did it. And you could see that car going down the road and you can imagine it. And it still had the fire thing in the back.
Yeah.
But if I have to pick one, I'm going to say that this one, I love how stripped down this movie is and how cool that is just on its own.
Right.
I do. I like it. But if I'm not picking that one,
right.
Keaton's because it was it was when I saw it, I imagined it like from like that to me looked like a comic book car that would be real.
Right.
So just from the idea that it came from there.
Right.
And it was going up against something that I grew up with in my childhood is the really original ones. And it topped it. So yeah.
Yeah, that the Bale tank one just looked like, a big hunk of shit to me. I like Affleck's. I like Affleck's in Batman, Superman.
Yeah. I could see liking it. I just like the one. I like the early one again back. I guess it's nostalgia that makes me go back there.
When you see your light in the sky, don't go to it. Consider this mercy. Question. Do you bleed? You will. Come on! Affleck, nigga! All right. Here's another one we never really discussed. Who's the best Alfred? Michael Keaton. Jeremy Irons. I didn't like this guy.
I didn't like him because it's a departure from everyone else. But who gets, if Bruce Wayne's parents die when he's young, obviously young, and all these other characters, I never thought they were going to toughen him up to be the character is. If you look at the character and who's going to make Bruce Wayne into Batman, this dude. I'm not saying I like him best, but he has that like he gave more backstory to himself.
I just didn't like this dude. I like Michael Keaton. just because it's Michael Caine.
Well, you gotta like Michael Caine because it's Michael Caine,
And you have to say Michael Caine.
Yeah, he is probably the most iconic to me out of all of them. But again, it's because it's Michael Caine, not because he's the best Alfred,
right?
Because he's the best Michael Caine.
It's the best Michael Caine. Well,
But
I've been with you since you were a little lad. Every time you take a shit, or got to clean it up.
But for this story and the way they're telling the story, it makes sense to have this guy who looks like an old Wolverine.
You know how hard it is to clean bat shit out of your drawers, out of your knickers? Not to mention, when you fuck one of these skanks, you leave bat semen everywhere. And I got to clean it. What you think about Jeremy Irons?
I like Jeremy Irons as an actor.
Right. You didn't?
Yeah.
Nah.
No.
Dude, I don't know if I've ever told this story, and I'm trying to make this a joke somehow. And I don't want to get too far off the point, but I got to bring this up because we're talking about Alfred. You know, my pharmacy, I don't know if I told you this, but my pharmacy that's down the street from my house, Porter Ranch Pharmacy, is where I go to get my medications for, my diabetes, blood pressure, cholesterol. And, one of the side effects to diabetes is ED.
Yeah.
So I take sildenafil to help get my dick hard. And here's what sucks about being famous. The 5 dudes at the pharmacy know who I am. When I call, they go, yo, what's up, Aries? When I come in, yo, Mr. Spears, or hey, Aries. And I go, why do they have to write on the prescription bottle for erectile dysfunction? So these 5 dudes know my problem. I got 5 Alfreds at my pharmacy. They all know my secret identity, nigga.
What's funny to me about it is, one, they would know what it is anyway if they saw it. They know medication. That's what their job is.
So if they see a blue pill, they know.
And it said sildenafil on it. They probably know what it is, right? Because that's what they do for a living. And 2, do you ever think there's any like irony in saying, hey, what's up, Aries, when you're calling for you?
Oh. The funny time will be when I go in and it's, hello, Aries. We got y'all said dinner, fella. Or be careful out there, Mr. Wayne. Stay hard. Keep it up. You don't want to be caught with your knickers down. Oh, God. Okay.
They should just go, what's up, Aries? And you now.
Right. Oh, you now, sir. Yeah. Okay, that's hilarious. And I had this. I mean, we were talking about Pattinson, but I remember I wrote in my notes as I'm watching the movie. I go, Robert Pattinson, and I was calling him Patterson, but it's Pattinson. I go, Robert Pattinson as Bruce Wayne does nothing for me. It's almost like Ben Affleck was MJ, and he's Harold Miner.
But again, the story wasn't around Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne is almost. It's his alter ego that hasn't really even shown up. The best way to say it is his alter ego that hasn't shown up for the party yet.
Right. And if you're going to show up looking like that, you should leave.
Well, that look, and that look though also gives him the opportunity to show his change as he expands to reel it in, to pull it in to that playboy type of Bruce Wayne.
Do you know how much hope his character, him, as Bruce Wayne, how much hope he's given to goth kids? He's doing for goth kids what Tobey Maguire did for geeks.
Yeah, well, as this goes on and they make another one, I think the goth kids are going to say that he sold out because he's no longer. I don't think that they hold that goth look.
Here's what I like in one moment when they show Pattinson take off the Batman helmet, and you see the black eye makeup that he has to put on so that it's all one thing. Whereas in Justice League, you see the black. Same thing under Affleck when he has on the bat mask or helmet or scarf, whatever they call it. But in the same scene, he pulls it off and his eyes are clean. So, that
was nice. That was nice to catch that. And then they made it run. So you see this way.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, the minimalist idea of this with the cars, even the motorcycle that's, it's not a regular motorcycle, but it's still a regular motorcycle.
Right.
It's that like you said with the eyes, noticing those little details, and obviously I'm getting on DC about trying to catch up to Marvel. That's what I think this reset is for Batman, because now all the characters are going to be in the right age of the Joker. They're going to get the timeline right. I think that's what this is part of the reset for.
Now let's talk about some of these performances. Colin Farrell, makeup-wise, deserves an Oscar. Whoever was responsible for his makeup. Because if you didn't know that was him, you wouldn't know that was him.
There's one time where I see a little Colin.
I didn't see none.
You don't even, the second time I watched it, I saw, like, you could see a little bit of, not his look, but you got his mannerisms. You knew that was nuts. But like you said, if I didn't know who Colin Farrell was, obviously,
right.
I would have saw somebody else in there, but I wouldn't have known who it was. They did a great job.
I just didn't know that this motherfucker was a part of Tony Soprano's crew.
Yeah, man.
And that's when I was in the theater going, that's when Andy's talking about the accent. And I'm just going, look, whether it was Burgess Meredith in the Adam West Batman as Penguin or Danny DeVito in the Keaton Batman as Penguin, when did the Penguin become a WAP?
Well, it was so funny because I thought it was I thought he was doing Robert De Niro. I thought it's basically the Robert De Niro as the Penguin,
right?
But in a penguin suit,
right?
But I do like that they made the Penguin. Danny DeVito's Penguin was just too.
Oh, he was perfect,
but it was too over the top for what I wanted.
I didn't think so at all.
Oh no, it fits that. I'm talking about putting that character, as I see it now, as we are becoming bigger. That idea is too cartoonish.
So you're saying that Penguin wouldn't work in this movie?
No, not at all. I don't think so. Hollow Calder Pot.
You might be right. But it was so good for that.
For that one, it was.
Right.
But Burgess Meredith's character, I thought that was one of my favorite. Again, I think I'm just too attached to that early Batman, but I thought that creating these characters, I thought that was a great Penguin.
Right.
I mean, he did it well with the little spy eyeglass, the one eye piece, and
the big top hat,
and then his voice. Yeah.
Right.
It seemed right, but again, I'm fucking watching this as a young kid and thinking this is the greatest. But that has something to me. But this, I think this character can go somewhere. It's a different take again on a character that's been done.
Bruce, you may run a fucking city, but I run fucking Gotham. All the money is illegal. Go to the fucking DA, they control everything. I was controlling half of North Jersey, but now that I'm here, I gotta learn to take out the fucking Batman. I'm gonna send a Penguin to come get you.
Like I just said, this motherfucker with an Italian accent. He was playing like a mobster. I know he was part of the mob, but I'm just going, he's a mobster? He's an Italian mobster?
Dude, he was such an Italian mobster. And the storyline, again, spoiler for you guys, when he finds out that the other dude's a rat, that's when obviously the character, when you first watch it, I was kind of like, what is this?
Right.
But then when you get to the fact that he's a rat, it was the mob control. Now he's mad at the dude. I thought that actually made it kind of more authentic to the idea of this city, the grittiness. And now you brought in like the idea of, you don't ever rat, you're stupid, you don't do this. And that character ties in perfectly with the idea that they're going for.
Right.
So at first I didn't like it. I still don't know that I like the actual voice that he chose, but it works. I think it's good. What did you think about, who was the bad guy in it?
The Riddler?
No. The actual bad guy, the bad mobster.
Oh, that was John Turturro.
Yeah, that's right. I couldn't remember Turturro's name. How awesome is Turturro? And I wanted him to have a different kind of character that would have lasted.
I don't know, but apparently his brother's not hireable. Nick Turturro.
Yeah.
Because John works. Yeah. And Nick don't. And Nick's a great guy. And Nick's my man. But damn, man.
Nick does a lot of crazy characters. Like really.
I don't remember the last thing I've seen him in.
I don't remember.
I haven't seen him in anything since NYPD Blue.
No, he's done stuff since then, but it's just he plays unique characters.
All right. Zoe Kravitz can get the business, nigga.
I'm telling you, man.
She can get the business, nigga.
Who wore that?
And I don't really go for the skinny broads like that. Like she's real, you could tell petite in height and in girth. And I don't really do, women that look like teenage boys. But yo,
Yeah, you want those things that look like they got the gamma radiation.
yeah, nigga.
Dude, who wore that haircut better, her or Halle Berry?
Halle Berry.
Okay.
Nobody fucks with Halle, dog. Halle in the 90s. Halle in her prime, nigga. You fuck her even if she got an STD, nigga. Halle, nigga. Don't ever come out your mouth like that. Yo, and you know, there's always been a cat and mouse between Batman and Batgirl. And they didn't overdo it, which I'm glad. It was enough. It was enough titillation, mental titillation. But yeah, even her fight scenes, dude, were great. The way she choreographed her, she was great, man.
Okay, let me ask you this. And you just said this. You said,
And I love I look like I designed my mask myself. Look, as opposed to Halle Berry and Catwoman.
Okay,
With that clearly,
right,
you know, over the top, stylized. I love the simplicity of that. I thought it was dope.
Okay, so let me ask you this though. You said it was dope. You said that, you know, there was a little titillation, but it wasn't too much. They went through. If Bruce Wayne's playing that character.
No way he gets that pussy.
But he can't. He has to act different. He can't be Affleck can't be that character.
Affleck?
I'm saying if Affleck is that character,
Yeah.
sorry, I keep saying Bruce Wayne. Because that's how much of a Bruce Wayne he is. If Affleck is that character,
Oh, he gets the pussy.
so it ruins this whole little.
But I think they still would have played it the same way.
But how do you play it the same way when you have a Bruce Wayne that's the suaver Bruce Wayne, women, money?
Right.
That's why this is so necessary not to have that Bruce Wayne developed yet.
Right.
Because he's not that guy to go get that right yet. That's not his area yet.
Right. Yeah, okay. I hear you.
I saw you wrote Jim Carrey down.
Yeah, because that's when we get to the
Okay,
Riddler.
okay.
Hold on, I'm
want
just
you to
trying to
forget
read
that
this note. Yeah, and again, because we've been hitting it so much, I don't want to keep beating up on Pattinson. So let me skip to the Riddler. At first, I was like, until they got to the scene where they had the face off in the jail in Arkham between Batman and the Riddler, before we knew who he was, I'm like, this nigga's Bane. He felt like he was Bane. I'm like, why is this the Riddler? So I was mad at it at first because you know, Bane, he didn't sound exactly like that, but there was a little. It felt a little, and I went, this is Bane. But then as the movie went on, and what really turned me was that last scene. Now, before I get to that, let me say this. Here's something else I noticed in the movie, and tell me if I'm crazy. But there were similarities between. I'm going, this is Batman meets Seven.
Yeah.
Because there were two scenes. The one where they were in the Riddler's house with all of the police and shit and the crime scene team, all the books, the darkness of it, the lighting. That's the scene in Seven.
Yeah.
Then there's the scene, which I loved, which turned me now with the Riddler, when he's in the jumpsuit and he's talking to Batman and he does this long monologue and Batman gets frustrated, starts punching the glass. That's Seven in the car with Spacey and Brad Pitt. So I was like, okay, this feels a little Seven-ish, the darkness of it, some of the similarities in it. But dude, that dude's performance, when he went on that rant, and at first, and if y'all don't know, this is the dude who was in the movie 12 Years a Slave. And I don't want to like him because he sang that song, Run, Nigga, Run. He was the one that Chiwetel Ejiofor beat up, which got him, you know.
Yeah.
But this motherfucker, that rant he went on, he acted his ass off.
Yeah, he did. He did, but I still, when the reveal is who he is,
Mm-hmm.
man, as much as you say he acted his ass off.
Mm-hmm.
And I think his best performance ever was in There Will Be Blood. I don't know if you ever saw that. It's a Western movie.
One of his other best performances, and I don't know if you saw it, remember the movie with Hugh Jackman, where Hugh thought that he had kidnapped his daughter.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's in that shower and they're turning the hot water on. He was dope in that too.
Dude, he's a great actor.
Right.
And I get what they're trying to go for there. But his look to me didn't. I wanted someone that still creeped me out a little bit. And he was
his performance did that for me.
His performance was, but you didn't want someone that just looked a little bit more. You know what? It's creepy. He has that, and what it came out to me seemed, he has that like that Dahmer kind of look where like,
what's creepier than that?
Yeah. It's an innocent look where you go,
right.
Oh, this is the guy.
But meanwhile, you eating nigga chicken McNuggets.
So I guess I shouldn't feel that way, but I wanted something. I was expecting like a big reveal, and when I got that, I was like, okay, I get it. And he's wearing the glasses on the outside.
Right.
You see it all the time, so it makes sense. I was expecting something a little different, but that's all right. I mean, like you said, his acting was on point. He was great.
Right.
But before you get to this part, they just revealed there was a scene that was cut out of the movie where Batman actually goes to talk to the Joker.
Right.
He goes to Arkham because he's trying to figure out who the Riddler is, which is also silent. And it looks like Silence of the Lambs. It feels like Silence of the Lambs because he's going to go talk to someone who's going to help him. And that's why you get that more detective feeling from Batman, but it needed to be cut because it didn't feel like it would fit the movie.
Right. Yeah. And
so who's your best, who's your favorite Riddler?
Okay. There's been three. Carrey, this guy, and again, the Adam West version. I can't remember his name.
I don't remember his name either. He was good at it though.
They were all good for what that was at that time. And listen, Jim Carrey is brilliant. We know this. And at that time, again, I know I said this on the podcast, when they were announcing that they were going to add the Riddler, before they said who the Riddler was, I immediately went, it's got to be either Robin Williams or Jim Carrey. Just because that's what they do. And I thought Jim was fantastic. Now, after seeing this, looking back, whether it's Nicholson is the Joker, Carrey is the Riddler, Vito is the Penguin, and even Tommy Lee Jones is Two-Face. They all look silly now.
I never liked Carrey as the Riddler
at all,
even back then. No, it was just too
over the top.
It didn't feel right. It didn't feel campy, and it didn't feel dark.
Right.
It just felt like Jim Carrey. And I never really liked his performance. I feel bad saying that, but that's one performance that I could have lived without. I'm trying to find out who the other Riddler is, but I'm having problems finding it.
If not Jim Carrey back then who?
Frank Gorshin.
Okay, Frank Gorshin.
Yeah.
If not Jim Carrey, then who would you have picked as a backup? That's what I'm saying. Other than Robin Williams, I don't know of anybody that could pull off the Riddler.
I don't know. I really don't know. If I'm thinking about the time that it happened, Robin Williams, like you just said, is the other one for that. But their personalities, there's just too much of them that comes through.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather have someone that is not a comedian, that is a different kind of like you just said, he acted his ass off. This dude who did this.
Right.
What's his name? Do you know his name?
I don't know his name.
I'm gonna look it up real quick. But anyway,
y'all get ready for a 20-minute break while he does this.
Yeah. What is Penguin Riddler?
Right there.
Paul Dano.
Paul Dano.
So I think I would have liked to seen someone who stretched the character, not just was silly. That's all.
You talking about Paul Dano in terms?
No.
Carrey.
Carrey.
Right.
It was just too much Carrey. It was too much Carrey, and all those movies. Too much Carrey, too much Arnold, too much.
Right.
They all just had too much of that star power that they were looking for back then.
Right. Now, when you say there wasn't enough action, Junebug, dude, that scene where he runs up to the roof and almost goes like he was about to fall off. One, I was a little like, Batman would never pussy up. But I don't know why they had to have him do that, especially when he knew once he zipped this shit up. And when he jumped off and that turned into I don't know what you call that thing, the hand glide parachute.
It's a flying
That was
suit.
dope, yo.
Human flight suit.
I want to do one of those. That's on my bucket list.
Well, you better get a different bucket.
You have no interest in that?
Not at all. I watched these guys do it one time. This is years ago, and the suits are better now. But they show him flying, and the dude just caught a little rock on the ground when he was going. You know, they go under. They have different things up. They're trying to hit these balloons that were like 3 feet off the ground.
Right.
And that's what they have these competitions, and this dude hit like a little rock. Man, crushed his foot.
Really?
Yeah, you're moving fast, and there's it's minimal protection in that.
Right.
You're not wearing a Batman Iron Man suit.
Right.
So when you go through it, it fucks you up. I have no desire. And then
You never wanted to skydive?
I'd still like to skydive. I'd probably die before I got to the ground, but I'd still like to do it. I didn't like. I still don't understand though in the movie, in the Batman movie. I love the suit. I love all that. Why did he have to go underneath why couldn't he go above the bridge or all this? Why did he have to go under and then throw out the parachute and then like
boom, 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 and roll on the ground and then limp off?
Is it to show that he has some protection, but he's still human?
You know what? And that was one of my notes. Again, from the roof to the boom, 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 and the limp off, I went, are they trying to, what is the point of that? He's supposed to be a hero. I know he's human, but he's Batman. He's done this before.
But see, that's the thing.
Maybe he hasn't.
And I think that's what they're trying to show. Like when he runs up to the top, yeah, he knows that he has the outfit and everything in, but he went too far. Like, he isn't on his Batman game. He's still just the Batman.
I just love how no matter what, he's prepared for anything. Like he knew, like that suit always had that capability, or he knew that day, I might have to jump off a roof.
That suit has the capability. He had it in there. But it's still, you know what? That's minimal. It's a minimal idea.
Right.
Because Batman has the bat planes and all the thing.
Right.
The car turns into this is some cloth. It turns in that he fly,
Right.
And it shows how minimal it is if he has to hit the ground and he fucks himself up a little bit. Yeah, so it still works for me. That still works for me.
Right.
I just didn't understand why he would have chose to deploy the parachute at the time he did, but whatever.
The intro to the car scene, the Batmobile.
Yeah.
In that darkness, Jeffrey Wright, here's that engine. Penguin, here's that engine. To where the car is going to be coming out of, just like when we first got the intro to Batman beating up the dudes, you don't see nothing but darkness. Then the car, you see the car, then the chase. And again, they showed us in the preview, which I wish they didn't because it would have been so much cooler when Penguin thought that he beat him.
Yeah.
And he goes, I beat you, you freak. And out of the flames comes the Batmobile. Fucking awesome.
And even though it was in the previews, it brought it together for me. And the movie had gone on long enough that I had given up on the previews. And I was like, that's fucking an awesome scene. The way he comes out, the way he does it. But here's my question, because you talked about they didn't hear him coming. They didn't hear him parking it. They didn't hear him bring the car. There must be.
There's always a suspension of reality with Batman.
Yeah, well, or he has like whisper on it, like he could turn off the rocket engine, and it's just it's a hybrid.
Right.
There's actually a Prius engine in there too, electric, and he just put it on that, and he just parked it in the Prius mode.
Right.
So that might have been what happened.
Let me ask you something, and this is something I've never understood, and I wish that the higher ups and the suits and the powerful people in Hollywood would explain this to me. Part of the point of previews is to lure you in, make you want to go see the movie. When you have an established product, a brand called Batman, do you really need those previews to be shown? Show a little bit. Even if you showed him just saying a line, yes, whatever, Batman. Why give away the great parts of the movie in the preview to lure us in when the name Batman is already going to lure you in? It's a Batman movie. It's like McDonald's, nigga. You don't need to show me a preview of McDonald's. It's McDonald's. When I'm hungry, I'm going to McDonald's.
Okay. I have a better question than even what it's on the same lines. That isn't the only angle, and that isn't the only take. There's outtakes. There's other places to pull some of this stuff from.
Right.
I mean, just that line on Vengeance, if you did that from a different angle or a different camera shot or one of the other takes that they did,
Right.
and it came in and you just had that one scene where you just, on vengeance, and then you have some other background, that would change. And then you'd be the whole time you'd be, where was that scene? I never saw that scene.
Right.
And you'd be, oh, they must have shot it for the, or it's an outtake. That would make the movie more interesting. Maybe take some of these fucking outtakes that they do a lot of times and put those up. I don't know what it would.
If I'm sitting in this theater and I'm seeing this movie for the first time, and I know I'm here off of the strength of it's Batman, and then for the first time I see that car come out of the flames, I see him come out of the shadows, beat the guy up, I'm vengeance. Do you know how much better this movie is?
I think it can add it will add a little extra adrenaline to the movie. I think they could have done it different. These things can be done differently. I don't know why they do them the way
Dude,
they do.
him after when they're in the building after Catwoman kicked my man over the thing and they caught him and brought him back. The way he runs down the side of the building,
Yeah.
awesome.
Well, honestly, what I think a lot of these previews for aren't for us to get us to go to the movies. I don't. I think that there's enough blogs, enough podcasts, enough magazine writers, enough people that are these comic book fanatics, the comic book shows, comic book stores, to get these people talking about the movie, because that's what creates this internal buzz and then moves it around everywhere, because it's the people who are really the comic book nerds of the business that make these movies. That the undercurrent talking about the movie, and did you see this? Did you see things that we would never even notice?
Right.
I think that's what these little pieces are made for. And to those people, probably it doesn't ruin the movie, because they're way past that. They're looking at the movie in a completely different way.
The fight scene and coming out of the elevator in the darkness with the guns. They showed that in the preview too. But again, and I'm sorry, but okay, one more time. Affleck in that scene. But okay, we're dealing with Pattinson. That was a great action sequence.
It's an action scene, but anybody could have been in that scene. John Wick could have been in that scene.
That was a John Wick scene.
Okay,
Right,
I mean,
right,
it's a scene.
But no, because he had the suit which protects him from the bullets.
I know, but I mean, John Wick still could have. He would have been wearing his suit, his suit to protect him from the bullets. I mean, it's just a scene. It's a great scene. It's cool how they did the lighting.
Right.
But out of all the sequences, that one, even though it's cool the way that it was filmed, that one didn't get it, because I kind of, and maybe it is because it was in the preview, like it didn't get me, because I got that. I've seen Batman fight bullets in close spaces. I mean, if you're going to have a scene.
But what I loved about it was dark, and when they cut to, the only time it was lit was when the guns were shot. So this cut between, like almost like a strobe light, pop, 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 beat him up, dark. Light, pop, 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 beat him up. The way the flashes as he's fighting, that shit was dope, man.
But, when I think of scenes that are tight in the small, and it doesn't have to be any, even gun, Captain America, when they have the fight in the elevator.
Oh, that's one of the best. That's one of the best. With the coolest line before the fight. If any of you want to get out now, like, this is your opportunity. Before we get started.
Yeah.
If there's anybody who wants to get out, now's your time.
Dude. And there's no trick. I mean, obviously there's tricks to it. There's cuts and stops.
Yeah.
But I mean, the action that goes on in that tight little space, that doesn't come. I mean, I understand this is a different kind of movie concept. I know that's light to dark, like you said, strobe light. But if I'm watching a tight action scene, other than like some Kung Fu movies, that's like, that to me is right there. You ain't beating that one.
The scene in the arena with the snipers. Yeah, man. Listen, I said like this, And
you know who the sniper is? The guy that he beats the shit out of.
Yeah, that was who was it again?
The guy from the funeral that was talking about he can't get his the money he needs, and then Bruce Wayne has to kind of walk away because someone else called him over.
Right.
And that's the guy who was complaining about not having enough money.
Right.
Yeah. And so it also lends to why someone would do this.
Right. Listen, and I even love how they ended it. When they show him on the bike and he looks in his rear view and you see Zoe in the other direction, but then they just cut and they keep it on his face and the angle and his eyes. Done. I mean, I just went, you know what, man? This movie is like, it wasn't awful. But it was also like you were fucking a fat chick while she was wearing a t-shirt. Getting pussy is never awful. But can I see your titties? You know what I'm saying? Let me see your titties. So it wasn't awful, but it wasn't great. I'm telling you, I'm sorry. Affleck would have made it great.
I don't think so. Not in this particular time frame that this movie, and it's important for me, the time frame that it takes place on. I also want to say though that at the end, when they say their goodbyes,
yeah,
Catwoman and
why don't
Batman.
you just come with me, the bat and the cat?
Yeah. It was a cute scene.
Yeah.
And then she takes off. And then you're like, that's a weird end. And then I thought it was cool that he caught back up to her.
Mm-hmm.
And yet we're not going to be together in this film. You know, we're going to ride here but we're going to get back together. We're on the same page.
Right.
And then they have to go in opposite directions right now.
Right.
I thought that was cool because I was like, that's a weird place to cut it. And now she's going to take off and then he's going to take it. And then they brought it back together and then they go their separate ways. I thought the way that they, like you said, I thought it's a very subtle movie. There's little pieces here and there that they're dropping off. I liked it. Have you seen the guy who's going to be the new, the new Joker?
See, that was one of my questions. I'm like, is he gonna be the new Joker, or
looks like
are they just kind of teasing you, but they'll get somebody else? Because they really didn't show nothing.
He signed up to be the Joker, is from what I heard.
Really?
Yeah. He's interesting. He's in the right, again, age appropriate for what the timeline's going to be. I think this is DC, and I was complaining about it. So now I'm going to say this before we end this podcast. I think this is DC's chance to get the movies. Or they're, like you just said, they're coming out with all these movies to get them into the same universe and get the timing right. But there's a lot of great Batman stuff that's falling on the floor because I
think I'm gonna see this again, and I think it's gonna.
I think you like it better. Yeah. I liked it better the second
because
time.
I'm really going, dude. You're lying to yourself if you're trying to really convince yourself you didn't like this movie. And I'm not going to say I loved it, but I ain't mad at it, man. I'm not mad at it. And I'm telling you right now, I know part of why I'm not giving it the 100% is because I'm upset it's not Affleck.
And I understand that. And I think Affleck did the best anybody could have done with the character. I think for the timeline that they were going for his age, for who he was, comes through. Everything about Affleck fits the character.
Right.
Affleck on the street fits the Bruce Wayne character. That's why I kept calling him Bruce Wayne instead of Affleck. He fits the character. Everything about it fits. But I think if I'm correct that this is going to service as getting everything on the right timeline so we can get a universe the same way Marvel has.
Right.
That's what I think this is for. And it sets up well because there's no one in this movie that I wouldn't want to see come back.
Yes. And Catwoman maybe, but all the other, like a Commissioner Gordon, obviously the main character is Batman. So I think we'll reach true racial equality if they ever make Batman black, even though, again, I don't think they ever will.
The black man,
yeah. But the fact that they made Commissioner Gordon and Catwoman black, I thought was nice. Break away from the norm. And now Neri swears by this. Me and him actually even got to an argument over it when we did the one episode of that podcast that never went anywhere. He goes, the audience doesn't care about the race as long as it's a good movie. I said, Neri, I think there are a lot of people who will care not because they're racist, but because it's nostalgia. It's what they know. It's what they grew up on. And people don't like to have their memories and what raised them fucked with. I can't see it.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with you at all because I know there are people out there who feel that way.
I'm one of them people. I don't want to see a black Batman.
I don't have a problem with it if it's like he said, if it's a good character, they did the character well. I never had a problem with Michelle Pfeiffer or being the Catwoman.
Yeah, but she's white.
Yeah, and I never had a problem with Halle Berry being Catwoman because
Well, remember, in the Adam West Batman, Catwoman was Eartha Kitt too.
Yeah.
Right. So that's always been
Okay, but I didn't have a problem with either one. They were both doing a portrayal of this comic book character, so it's never that never comes up to me. But when you said Batman, now the iconic Batman character,
Right.
the side characters, the
Right.
other pieces here in this film, I don't know. I might feel that that's jolted from because we were just speaking about this. I do have a connection to the old Batman television series. Would I be a little different if it was? Maybe I wouldn't. I don't know how I'd feel about it. I don't know how I'd feel about it.
I told you, I met when first came to Hollywood and I was young, slim, and trim. I met with Joel Schumacher when he was flirting with the idea of making Robin black. You know, and I deep down inside, I went, I don't see it. And he of course he didn't, but he was flirting with that idea.
But that would bother you?
If I was hired, hell no.
Yeah, if you were hired. No, but
if I'm a Batman fanatic, I go to the conventions dressed up. Yeah, yo.
Okay. I could maybe see on Batman. I could kind of get that, but like Iron Man's the suit. Iron Man is the suit. So an Iron Man, and Iron Man has been black in the comic book series.
Has he?
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Yeah, he had to take a break. And
niggas always need to take a lunch.
No.
There's a white bitch somewhere screaming for this nigga's help, and this nigga is on lunch. That's just like niggas. He opened up the face helmet to eat that chicken and smoke that weed.
No, Tony Stark needed a break, and for different timeline stories.
Oh, nigga, that is even more fucked up. The white man said, nigga, I'm tired. I need you to fill in for me and save these motherfuckers.
And that's basically what happened. But again, and to your point, I'll say that
Iron Man, he probably changed his name to I Ain't Man. Iron Man, this white bitch. Iron Man, help me. Bitch, I'm tired. I ain't man. I ain't going to do it, miss. I ain't man right now.
I don't know if the Batman character would bother me. I like if it would take me out of my childhood and I would think that there was an issue with it. I kind of agree with Neri on some of it, but I do see where I know that some people would have a problem with it. If it's a great character though, and they
or
do
a great movie.
Yeah, they do a great job at it.
Right.
Why? How does it differ?
Right.
Now, the only thing I can say is when I see movies that are made for a male part,
and they cast female.
Now, does that take you out of it a little bit? Yeah, it does. So maybe there's some truth to that. Maybe if I saw someone, I mean, the other reason is when they cast a female in it, I haven't seen someone live up to that character.
Right.
So maybe if it was
nigga Iron Man, I'm drowning. Help me. I ain't, ma'am. I ain't gonna help you, white bitch. I ain't, ma'am.
I don't know. I think it's pretty funny. It's fun. That would be a hell of a thing to do some shorts. Just film our own shorts where we interchange all the characters.
All the characters.
Yeah, give them different races.
All right. So there it is. Batman. Yeah, man, it wasn't bad, man. I'm not mad. I'll put it to you like this. When the sequel comes out, I ain't gonna feel the same way going in as I did this one. I'll actually be like, all right, this dude is growing on me, man. He's growing on me, dude. I think if I see it again, I'm gonna really give him some shine, yo. He's all right, man.
I honestly thought he did a good job. I thought there's some flaws in the movie itself.
Right.
I do not like the Bruce Wayne that they brought to the screen. I think there should have been a little hint of a Bruce Wayne to come. Maybe not all out. I could see some of the insecurities Bruce Wayne would have, but put the insecurities in and give him some character. They really made that flat, and I didn't see a Bruce Wayne embryo at all.
Oh shit! Hey man, here comes my bitch, Pepper Peaches. Jamal, you got me pregnant, nigga. I ain't, ma'am. I ain't do it. I ain't, ma'am. I don't know what this bitch Pepper Peaches is talking about.
I like Pepper Peaches.
Yeah, some shit black women call us peaches, nigga.
Pepper Peaches is fucking good.
All right. Want to make some announcements?
Yeah. First of all, when you're listening to this, we'll be in, I believe we're going to be at the Off the Hook Comedy Club in Naples when you listen to this. And we're there until the 3rd. Following week, the 7th through the 10th, we're going to be in Baltimore at the Comedy Factory. 18th, this is all in April, 15th through the 17th, 15th through the 16th only, we're going to be at the Funny Bone in Albany. Funny Bones are doing a lot of weekend shows.
Yeah, Fridays and Saturdays.
Yeah. You almost sounded a little like Family Guy right there when you said Friday.
Yeah, Fridays and Saturdays. Hey, Fridays and Saturdays. The nigga Iron Man never works on Fridays and Saturdays.
He's doing comedy.
He's doing comedy. He's being lazy. He's Ant-Man.
The 21st to the 23rd, also again in April, Skyline Comedy Club in Appleton, Wisconsin, our first time there. And then we'll be the Summit City Comedy Club in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and that's the 29th, 30th of April, and the 1st of May. And should we follow up? Should we go further than that, or is that good?
Yeah, why not?
Pittsburgh. We'll be at the Pittsburgh Improv May 6th.
Oh, dude, I got to take you to, you've never been there. From Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives in Pittsburgh. Big gyms on the run. Nigga, their specialty is chicken parmesan sandwiches. And I mean, the chicken fillet or cutlet is as big as this goddamn thing, whatever this is. I mean, it's huge.
Really?
It's fucking delicious. Man, some good sauce. What do you call that shit? Not the ragu. What do you call it?
Gravy?
The gravy. They got the fucking gravy and the fucking cheese and the French bread. Oh, goodness.
And this is Big Jim's?
It's called Big Jim's in the Run.
Yeah, I'd like to. I want to try that.
You wait till you see this motherfucker. But go ahead.
Do you want to go to the Andy Warhol Museum?
Yeah, we could do that.
You do? You want to go see it?
Yeah, motherfucker. You know, because when we're done and we talk about it, you know who's going to be on the podcast, right?
Who?
It's art, dude. Yes, Peter McQuarrie.
There's going to be some photos and some artwork that's right up Jasper's alley.
Listen.
And when I said Jasper's alley, I meant it.
You know how funny that is? Let me know if y'all understand this. Up his alley. What is an alley? Darkness. So when you go up into somebody's ass, you are entering darkness. Fucking brilliant, nigga. And I've seen, I don't know if it's Andy Warhol, but I've seen some of the art. I think it is Andy Warhol. Like, it's really like pictures of black men naked and shiny.
Okay.
Like really artistic naked black men. The cocks are all in the picture.
That's he did this thing on trans in the late 70s, early 80s. And the choices they had a lot of choices. And the choices that he chose to...
This nigga taking me to look at cock meat, nigga.
But it's a very small amount of the... Actually, it's a very large amount, but it's very...
Oh, you just worsened it.
But it's a small amount of all the artwork there.
I'm not eating anything
tubular. You eat before we go there.
I'm not eating nothing tubular.
It's a cool museum show, but I want to see it because they update it all the time. And,
shiny. It's one thing to see dry cock. But these niggas got grease on, man. Greasy, patent leather, latex cock, nigga.
Dude, you better tell Jasper that he has a date on the podcast.
Nigga, I bet you Jasper lives in the museum. I want to sleep around the cocks. I want to, not around the clock. I want to sleep around the cocks. I want to sleep around the cocks, around the clocks. There's nothing like waking up to the bosom of the balls and the trunk of the cock laying on your face. You say, what is this? Is this a lint? Is this a spider? Is it a fly on my face? No, it is the open fly of Negro meat. That's Peter McQuarrie. All right, go ahead.
Okay, after we get done getting kicked out of Pittsburgh, the 6th through the 8th of May, we'll be at... what is this? Louisville. Yeah, Louisville Comedy. Have we been to this Louisville?
No, they pushed it back.
Okay, we'll be at Louisville Comedy Club.
Y'all gonna come to Louisville and see my hometown.
The 13th through the 15th.
13th through the 15th. I remember I fought Joe Frazier, and we almost went to the 15th, but I stopped him in the 13th.
And then we take a week off unless we get booked, which I'm sure we are going to get booked on that date. But the only reason I want it to continue is the 26th through the 29th will be at the Helium in Philly of May.
That's on a Friday and a Saturday.
Yeah, it's much more than Friday and Saturday.
No, even a Sunday.
Yeah, man, I'm so looking forward to going back.
Oh,
to
you know,
Philly.
Philly's one of my favorite.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, Philly. Yeah. All right. Harry James, by the numbers. Thanks for peeping our music. He's attached to tracks from Harry James LP. It's on all streaming services as well. Spotify, iTunes, etc. The name of this song is called Dapper. I hope y'all enjoy.
We out?
Yeah, we out. I ain't man.
Thanks for listening to the Spears and Steinberg podcast. If you'd like to know who's responsible for this shit, it was hosted by Aries Spears and Andy Steinberg, produced by Steve Merrick and Anthony Holmes, executive producer, Big Papa, Robert Kelly, and Matt Klein-Schmidt for the Laugh Button podcast. For more information on where to find us, visit SpearsburgPod.com.